So I was thinking about this the other day, coming back here, and what, it's like 2 years later, a year later, and you know, the question is going to be like, oh, so what are you about to do? Like, tell me, how have you been? What are you up to? And I remember the last time I was here, I sang a song and I said things like, what I want to do, like in my hopes for my life, and said like I miss home. I remember that, and I remember saying that I wanted to learn an instrument, and I was like, you're going to be so proud of me right now because I'm back and I'm leaving to go travel, and I've been practicing Spanish, which is something like I wanted to learn. And the other night I was with my friend, and his family came in from his parents from Italy, and between Italian, French was my friend's girlfriend, and she's my friend too. She was trying to meet his parents too, and they only speak Italian. So between Italian, Spanish, English, and French, because we refused, we like at first were typing into this like translator and showing each other the translations, but by the end of it we were like, you know what, let's see if we can have a conversation. And it was like 4 different languages thrown together, and the guy called us Jar Jar Binks by the end of it, because we were just like mixing so many different languages together to like get it across. And it worked for about 5 minutes, and then we got lazy and started on the thing again. But I'm learning the ukulele, which is, I thought I'd be on like the piano or guitar, but the ukulele is what my hands can handle. And I've been doing Duolingo and memories, so I'm like learning languages. And I had Rosetta Stone, but it crashed, so my computer did, so I lost everything. And it taught me a little bit of like not taking things for granted. And I guess, speaking of taking things for granted, I felt like I was taking the city for granted now. I shot a film in Tulum, and I came back, and I felt like my mind, body, and soul, my mind and spirit are out there, but my body's here. So instead of taking New York for granted, like a lot of people wish they would be here, they could be here, and why should I take up a spot if I want to be somewhere else? And why should I be an emptier shell here? So I'm going to Tulum with my practiced Spanish and my ukulele, and I'm going to go have some fun and experience life out there, a new kind. And when I come back, if I come back, I'll be a lot more, happy to be here. And not like I'm not grateful or anything, but I feel like I could be a lot more. So, so there's that. And here's something cool. So I made a new bucket list, and on it is like all the different passions that I have and like what I want to do. And recently, all right, this is where I sound crazy, but recently I've decided, I went home, my dad, his feet hurt, so I was like giving him a massage as he fell asleep on his like feet. And as he was falling asleep, he told me that he wanted, he was like, you know what I would like? And I was like, what's up, Pop? And he said, a hot air balloon ride. And for years, I've been wanting to buy my parents a hot air balloon ride. All right, it's so interesting looking in here, but I'm like talking to you. Hi. All right, there you go. Thank you. All right, so my dad, as he was falling asleep, said, do you know what I would really like? And I was like, what? And he's like, a hot air balloon ride. And for the past few years, I've been like on him to fix the record machine. We have a record player, and they have a huge collection of albums, and it's one of my favorite things. So my bucket list is to listen to all of the albums, whether I like them or not, all the way, all of them, all the way through. And maybe write a journey, in a journal, my journey through the albums. What was happening when this song played or something. But also, I have like a plan for this certain one. It's the Moody Blues For My Lady, because it's my parents' song. And he, you know, he thought I wanted it fixed for me. So like I came home and he was like, Jasmine, guess what? And I was like, what? He's like, I fixed the record player. And I was like, oh my God, like what I've always wanted. And I was so excited. So like we played like, we played Baron Lee, I believe is his name. Baron Lee, he's like reggae kind of stuff. And we had a celebration. He played me all my favorite like albums that I listened to as a kid. But For My Lady, I'm gonna buy my parents a hot air balloon ride, and I'm gonna pay them extra, hopefully, so that they can land in our field. And as they're landing, I'm gonna blast on the stereo their song, For My Lady. And I was cleaning my mom's old piano bench out, and I found like the lyrics to it. So I'm gonna put it in an envelope and give it to them. And when they get like all the way up in the air, I'm gonna have I don't know who yet. I'm just gonna tell one of them you have to open it and read it to the other one. So it's gonna be really corny, but it's gonna be really cute too. So I'm like, that's one of my bucket lists. And to hear my dad, as I'm like rubbing his feet as he falls asleep, tell me that, I was just like really excited. But yeah, I guess that's what I've been up to. I've been working a lot, saving up a lot. Just realizing, doing a lot of soul searching, I guess, like really thinking about, you know, what I want in life and how to achieve it. And what is success? There was another one. I was thinking, sorry that I feel like I'm preaching right now, but this is just what's been in my head recently. A lot of it is like soul searching. Like the other day I was on set and I've been trying to leave the city to like to go back to Tulum to like be with people they threw me a going away party. It was really cool. My boss was like, I've been here for 5 years and no one ever threw me a going away party. You're here for like a month and everyone's like, whoa, where are you going? But it was such a beautiful thing because like it was the first time in a long time where I left the country for the first time, and he asked me like, hey, what do you feel? Like, how do you feel? You feel weird? You're in Mexico. And I was like, oddly, I don't feel different. And I was afraid that I was jaded. But then when I left, I realized, I turned to him and I cried, and he laughed at me because he's like, I love watching you cry, but it's just because I was just like super happy. And I told him, now I know I'm in Tulum, I'm in Mexico, because like now I have to leave and I don't want to. And for a long time, the only place I felt like that at was home, like on the farm. And coming back to New York was more of a culture shock than going to another country. It was crazy. So now I completely forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I'm going. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna swim in the water. I'm gonna play soccer, and I'm gonna buy my parents a hot air balloon ride. That's gonna be cool. Going through a checklist of things in my head that I wanted to talk about. Taking things for granted. Community, we're here. Good, thank you. So I wanted to have that community, that family feeling here. And I was like, but also here you have to work a lot. And then once again, I thought of tribes, and I was like really excited when you reached out to me, because I think about this. I think about like it was one day of experience, like, but it's amazing how like one day can affect you, can really like, and you don't realize it. I think about a lot of people a lot of times, but our journeys take us different places. And I always I do this thing called like coconut wireless, where I just like send it out in the world. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about you, but like I expect you to actually know, but you don't. But yeah, I was thinking about tribes, and like it's a beautiful thing to bring everybody together, and then even if it's like 2 years later and you're like, hey, like how have you been? Come by, talk to me. Like, what's up? What's going through your head? Like, how do you change? Not just physically. Like I saw a video of a girl with short hair and then it's longer, but like how do you sit? How do you talk? What are you thinking about? Like, just where are you now compared to back then? And through the years, if you see someone every day, it's like the morph may be so not so different because you're just with them, but to see them like boom, and so drastically boom, it's beautiful. And like, I don't know, 2 years ago I was like, oh, I miss home, I want to go home. It's 2 years later, I'm going home. Like I'm going back to PA, and I'm going to Mexico to like find the tribe, you know. And then and I was sitting on set, and I was like, I'm taking everything for granted here. Like, I'm leaving now, and I realized I do have a tribe here, and I do have friends here, and I do have a job here, and I do appreciate it now. But sometimes you have to leave to really to see it, because now I'm leaving. I'm like, oh, well, shit. Maybe I don't want to now. Like maybe, and it's beautiful, and it's beautiful. Like it's like a. It's like bittersweet. It's to be able to wake up in the morning and finally be like, wow, like I appreciate this. I really do. Like this wild and crazy circus of a building, like this pirate ship of people, like this family that's just trying to make it through in a building, you know, this spirit of just a bunch of everybody just banding together to like have movie nights on a Sunday night on a rooftop, to like someone wants to go camping but we can't all afford it separately, so we all band together and get a site and go ride bikes until the sun rises, and the little traditions that we didn't realize we had, but we do. Like every camping trip, we all go to watch the sunrise at Dead Horse Bay, even though the sun doesn't rise over the water, it rises over the mountain behind you, so you don't even get to see it. But you go anyway because that's what you do. And when someone wants to make a video on a drone of like his daughter and himself coming up over who is it, HBO or something had like a movie night where they would like go like zoom in, like, oh, we're in space, oh, we're in a city, oh, we're in a town, oh, we're in a house, oh, like they're watching the TV. Like my friend just had an idea like, oh, for a movie night we should do that. So he and his daughter are coming off the subway, and our other friend just happened to buy a drone. So it's over the shoulder shot of them, goes over, you know, Halsey Street up to the rooftop where everybody's decked out as pirates, and someone's on the rooftop taking pictures of the sunset but with an eye patch, and the other guy's dressed up like Captain Hook, and it's just everybody together to help our other friend's dream come true. But then we all get to watch it and play like Where's Waldo of the week and find each other. And it's like things like that you should be very thankful for and not take for granted. And I realized I'm a little brat because you should really be thankful to have neighbors that you can walk up to and say, good morning, like, how are you? Or, damn, that was a rough day, like, you want a beer? You know, and I visit my friends in other buildings, and you go in the elevator and you push the button, and your next door neighbor is just staring ahead, not talking. And like, I was too sold on that idea of New York, and like too sold on the subway that I thought nobody talks on. But then I ran into my friend today on the way here. I was chugging my water, and she's like, you thirsty much? And then she and I got to talk about life and everything. And I'm just grateful that I'm seeing it now instead of like, oh, even though I leave in like 3 days, like to see that now. Martha Graham's studio, just walked past that and wouldn't have done that either. Like wouldn't have stopped and walked in because I would have been too busy on a deadline to see you. Like, it's crazy how all this is working out. But I'm very thankful that I am thankful while it's still here, even if it's in like the last few days. And now back, I was on set, and I thought I didn't have a community, and then I thought again, and I realized, like, it is with you, no matter where you go. Like, whether I'm here or in Mexico, it is the person, it's in here. It's the spirit, and like, we'll find like, hopefully. And I'm glad that I'm realizing that now. And I also realized, like, I felt like a jerk because, like, 3,000 plus friends on Facebook, what the fuck does that matter? If you're not that's just numbers. And like I was doing something, I was helping on a set, and I was like, oh, no one's gonna notice me dump this water out here on the street with the ice. And someone comes walking by, they're like, Jasmine Brotzman. I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, first off, like, shit, I got caught. And then like, secondly, like, I have no idea who this person is. And he smiles and he's kind of condescending and he says, we're friends on Facebook. And I like felt so fake in that moment. Like, I just like, how do you, like, that's a terrible name, friends, like acquaintances, or like strangers who happen to like each other's faces. I don't know. But I started like really, that's what started this whole ball rolling on like what is success? This girl asked me what my most successful thing was on set the other day. She's like, what's the most successful thing you've done? Like, what are you really happy about? And like, she told me about like this movie she's working on, this and that. And I was just like, okay, that's cool. And this other girl's like, oh, I got this new hair soap thing. And I was like, that's cool. Not knocking it, to each their own. They asked me and I was like, well, I got to help my friend garden. And like, he doesn't know. Like, and I just like, I look up to him in so many ways because he's like, you know, he's an actor doing very well, and he's traveling, and he's got just like, you know, on paper, and it's perfect boyfriend kind of material too. And but I was just so grateful that I learned that, you know, I always knew, but like it just reset. Like there's so many more important things in life than this, I was getting sick and tired of hearing it. And just, you know, everybody's hustle of like, oh God, my audition, this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And there's more. There's like so much more out there. There's your soul. There's like, what did I help someone else do today? My friend called me. He's up and coming actor. He's great. He's in a movie with an Emmy Award winning actress. I'm so proud of you. Good job. And he asked me if I knew any gardeners, and I do, because I volunteer at the local garden. And so I put him in contact with him, but you know, they don't know each other as I know them. So for them, it was more like, hey, how much are you going to pay me? Hey, dude, my father had a stroke. Like, can't you just be a compassionate person? And maybe not. Maybe the city just, and I tried to explain it to my friend the other day. He's like, where's the compassion? I thought all gardeners were nice. Like, this is terrible. I just got a plot of land. No one will talk to me. And I was like, well, something like when I was interviewed on like, oh, like you're doing well with your career. Like, what's going on? Like, do you have any advice for up and coming actors? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm nowhere to be giving anyone full advice on that. But I would say, you could quote me on one thing, like water the trees. Like anyone can plant the seeds, but water the trees. And when I was in Tulum, okay. Dude, it's so much talking. When I was in Tulum, I just learned when you can't speak the language, you have to judge maybe off actions, you know, their actions. And so I decided, let me help my friend out. And I went up, and now here I am with a key to his garden, and I'm gardening. And the other gardeners who didn't have time for him walked up, and they're so proud to see that there are plants growing. And now they're like, wow, like you guys not only planted seeds, you watered them, you're growing a garden, you are putting time into this. We'll put time into you because we see how much you care. And I just think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that is something big that I've learned recently. And I do have community. And in film, we just happen to have a lot of people who know our community. And so I should actually not be afraid of the stranger on the street who comes up, and I should just be thankful that if they know who I am, they know what I'm doing, then I'm doing my job in film right. So on my birthday, I was surprised by a friend who came by, and he taught me this. He like just moved into our building, and he was like really sweet, really nice. And he taught me on the guitar, Sea of Love. And I wanted to impress him and show him like, oh yeah, like your time was not wasted, because he reads a lot of, was it Socrates, like life is short, learn how to use it, and definitely it's a lot of like invest in the right things. And so investing in a drunken birthday girl, teaching her the guitar, I don't know if that was the best investment, but thank you. And so he taught me it on the guitar, and then I transferred it over to the ukulele without him knowing. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to prove to him that like I appreciate him via this song because I'm going to learn it and I'm going to play it for him one day. And then I saw him a few weeks later and he was like, oh, so how's the song going? And I'm like, oh, it's great. And he hands me his guitar. He says, so you're going to play it? And I was like, oh, ouch. Because no, I'm like, just look like, you know, I'm a girl of my word. And actions speak louder than words. And I'm telling you, I've totally been practicing your song. But it's a secret that it is on the ukulele. And so when you hand me your guitar that I learned on and I don't play it well, it looks like I'm totally lying to you. And I didn't want to break it by telling him I transferred it to the ukulele, so I just let him think that I was a piece of shit. And then finally, my friends, right before I went to shoot the film in Mexico, my friends had a few friends like move in together, had a housewarming party, and there were live bands, and they were like, Jasmine, Jasmine, you have to come up and play. So I take a shot, I make them give me a shot of whiskey, and I walk up there, and I dedicate this to my friend Ryan, and he had actually left the building to go get his guitar so that he could play next, so he totally missed this whole thing. Totally missed it, and I was so shy, I turned my back to the audience, and I had to sing it to my friend Jason, who was sitting in a couch looking at me, because like if not, I was going to be like a little bit how I'm going to be like right now. Anyway, let's hope I get this one right. This one's Sea of Love. Come with me, my love, to the sea of love. I wanna tell you how much I love you. With me to the sea of Do you remember? Shit, when we met? That's the day I knew I was your pet. I wanna tell you how much, that's so funny, I love you. And that's my song.
I love it.